Okay, so this is in for repair. I just recently made a trip to Ohio, and a friend of mine up there has a bunch of radios and stuff he picked up from an estate sale. I had one of those earlier on one of my earlier videos, the silver tone, I believe it was a model 15. It was an AM radio. That was a part of the same lot, but anyway, I made a trip up to Ohio, and the guy has some of his own of that collection, and this is one of them. I've got a few more that I need to repair, and then I've got a bunch of other ones that I got out of that lot for myself. So anyway, let's get started on this. I believe this is a C725. I have one in the house just like it. Mine is the submodel is the C725C. I've got a video up on my channel of that one. These are the selenium rectifier sets. There's your selenium rectifier there. I've already gone through and checked this one. It's nice and healthy. There's no problems. After the set warms up, it's 128 down to 123 volts at the most. So that's just fine. I'm not going to even worry about that rectifier, changing that out. We do have one of those Bumblebee, or did have one of these Bumblebee capacitors from the across the line cap from the line in to the ground, the chassis ground on this set. It blew apart on the owner when he first got this set and turned it on. It played maybe for a little while or something, and blew out. So he's already cleaned out the remnants of that. I see pretty much in here. There's still some pieces inside. You probably can't see it, but there's a chunk of it down there. I'm going to put a safety capacitor in line with this here, and that put that capacitor back in line. But we'll go back with the safety cap to eliminate that problem again. Eliminate a chance of that problem ever happening again. Still got some paper caps in here that need to be changed. Typical getting a radio going again after sitting for 20-30 years, however long it's been. These are inductance tuned. The variable capacitor is for AM tuning, and these variable slug inductors are for the FM tuning. I ran into this problem on my set. I think pretty much all these are pretty similar, have a pretty similar problem with these little spring linkage things down to the slugs coming unglued, because they just have them glued, and then that throws off your needle dial as far as your station alignment. This one's on about 94, and I want to say it was on public radio, which is like 88 or 89 on here. So that's all off. We're going to have to get that line back up and then just re-glue that back down to where it's supposed to be. Pull the bottom shield off. These things are very well shielded. It has a metal shield cover over the bottom here with about 6 screws on there you have to take off to be able to access the underside of the chassis. We have a few paper caps in here. I need to go through and check these resistors and see if they're all in check. Change out these paper capacitors, just some normal maintenance. No real big deal here though. Most of these sets utilize disc capacitors, which are a very low failure part. I did forget to mention this set does work. So after the across the line cap blew out and went back to working, it does work just fine.
Which is a non-profit 501c3 educational trust, and over the next 10 years in increments saw to it that all of the property
So all we really need to do is just a little, you know, kind of preventative maintenance, so to speak, on this set. Okay, we got all of our capacitors replaced. That little blue one there. Just a few paper capacitors, mostly disc. And I went through and checked all these resistors, and you know, most of the time Zenith uses pretty high quality parts back in the day, so no real issues with any of the resistors. They all seem within tolerance, so pretty much was able to leave those alone. So it's just basically a simple recap of the paper caps, and then the alignment of these slugs here. I usually just go back with some hot glue on these things. Seems to work pretty good. Just get these slugs lined up with the station on the dial so it matches up, and it's right on the money. So I believe we're going to wrap this one up here. I'll put it back in the case and we'll play it a little bit. Okay, I wanted to do something I haven't done before, and that is to check these old paper caps for leakage. I'm on the leakage on this tester. This side of the tester is leakage, and this is capacitance. Yeah, this thing is, this is a 400 volt cap. I'm a little over about 150 volts right there. It's already leaking like crazy. It's a pyramid 0.47 400 volt cap. Leaky as all get out. Of course, the higher you go, it just stays lit. When you back down to 0, it's still flashing. Bad. And here we have a 0.47 at 200 volts. Actually, not too bad. We're almost at 200 volts. And we're just getting a little bit of flicker there. Knock it back down to about 100. We're still getting a little bit of flashing. So, yeah, not as bad as the other one, but still leaky. And next up, we have a 0.1 at 200 volts. And we're up to 100 volts and we're flashing already. Oh yeah, I haven't even made it to 200 and we're rapidly flashing. Yeah, that one's pretty leaky too. And next up we have another 0.47 at 200 volts. That one's not too bad, just a little bit of flashing it right at 200 volts. Let's cook it a little bit and see if we can. Oh yeah, wow, even up around 600 volts is not doing too bad. So that one doesn't test too bad, but yeah, we're in there. We might as well go ahead and replace them before they do start to be a problem. And next up, another 0.1 at 200 volts. once you get up around 200 volts, boy, that thing is leaking. Well, if we put it back down to 100 volts, we're still getting a little bit of a flash, so that one's not too bad either, but it is leaky. Well, let's turn it on and see if it'll play.
Be wise and be ready with Wise Food Storage. Call for your free sample now. 800-461-7497.
We're on AM.
And it's exciting to see how the Lord has been working in your life.
Turn the light off so don't get all that interference. Looks like we might have a little bit of DX coming in. Not quite dark, but almost. Camera noise.
And it matters. And so we need to make sure that as our students matriculate through high school, that they get all of the experiences that are going to turn them into...
Don't know where that station's out of. It must be DX rolling in.
First, let me say that I think the voter ID bill was a great bill. It was based on the best legislation from across the country and struck down by a single liberal judge in Richmond, Virginia, who...
750 out of Atlanta, so yeah, the DX is starting to come in.
North Boltman Drive.
You survived another summer break. And now that you've got the kids back in school, you finally got time to finish all the stuff you've been putting off. Like renewing your driver's license at the DMV.
Let's try FM here.
Need it? Donate it. Give your stuff new life at Goodwill. PalmettoGoodwill.org.
The best career advice.
Every day.
Orangeburg.
Can't keep it on one song too long or I'll get that copyright crap.
Gone.
Anyway, mister.
Enough to tell that this is a fake.
With respect to abortion, and I'm talking in the political arena, or even same-sex. Christian. Well, we have to.
it or not, for our 2017 event. We had a meeting today amongst our staff, kind of going over our recently completed race weekend.
All right, there's my, not mine, but
it didn't work so well.
there's
so,
the completed Zenith C725
close out this portion
from
of it,
1959,
and then,
1960.
we'll start,
Thanks for watching.
2017. So.